والنجم إذا هوى ما ضل صاحبكم وما غوى.
I have to spiritually, emotionally ready myself before I do tadabbur. For tafsir, I have to intellectually prepare myself. For tafsir, remember when I was doing tafsir of a word, there was Arabic sources and quotes from scholars and sahaba and tabi'een and things like that, right? That's intellectual work. But tadabbur does not require your brain. Tadabbur requires your what? It's your heart. The prerequisites are in my heart. The first prerequisite is Allah's speech is perfect and my understanding isn't. Which means when I read something and it's not making sense to me, it's because my understanding isn't wide enough and vast enough. And Allah's wisdom is infinite. I have to humble myself before the speech of Allah. This is one of the hardest prerequisites of tadabbur because we live in a critical society. Every message you receive, you critique it. You put a heart on it. You put a thumbs up on it. You put a thumbs down on it. You put a commentary on it. You take a course in college. You rate your professor. You listen to a speech, you rate it. You listen, people are now really into rating even a khutbah. People rate khutbahs. And it's become such a practice. I gave a khutbah one time, a brother came up to me, that was really good, but if you use this ayah and this ayah, would have been better. I was like, this is ratemykhutbah.com now? Like I'll give you a 7.5. I wasn't looking for a score, bro. But we're now rating Islam too. Who's your favorite speaker? What score do you give him? This stupidity has to stop. This nonsense has to stop. Kids used to do this for athletes, for basketball players. People do this for UFC fighters, and now you do this for sheikhs. What is this? This is the religion now. We've molded the religion into this because why? Because what our heart desires is more important than the message. So if a speaker has an accent, or a speaker isn't charismatic, or a speaker's too old, you're like, I can't pay attention. It's not entertaining enough. It doesn't give me that high, there's no jokes in his speech. Yeah, they're not. The people I listen to, they're really boring. But I love them. I literally have to stop every 5 to 7 minutes because my eyes are rolling up. But I still listen to them because I get more benefit from them than anything else. The Quran is not there to cater to you because it came from your master. The master doesn't cater to the slave. The slave caters to the master. That's a shift in attitude when I come to the Quran. That's my heart filter. I cannot come to it like a critic. I can't come to it like a product on Amazon. I only give it 2.5 stars. Not like that. The next filter in the Quran, I'm looking for something. I'm looking for guidance. I'm not looking for information. I'll get the information, but the goal wasn't information. The goal was what? It was guidance. As you contemplate today, your homework assignment, 3 ayat. All we've done is 3 ayat. Your homework assignment is, what guidance am I getting personally from these 3 ayat? What do I get from these 3 ayat? I've shared some tafsir comments with you. I've shared what it means. I went through the vocabulary and all of it. That's tafsir. Now we got to do what? Tadabbur. What does this mean for me? I shared some tadabbur from وَمَا يَنْطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَى with you, but you must have your own. You must do the work yourself. This is Allah speaking to you. Allah speaking to me. Everyone, لِيَدَّبَّرُوا آيَاتِهِ. Somebody asked a beautiful question and I'll conclude with it. You can turn this off now. Beautiful question. He said, the Sahaba had so many opinions. Why? And how come they just didn't tell us what the Prophet said about the Quran? It would have been easier. The thing is, Allah designed this Quran in a really incredible way. He didn't say so that the Prophet reflects on it. He said, لِيَدَّبَّرُوا آيَاتِهِ. So they reflect on it. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ. So you understand. Who was supposed to ask questions about the ayat and ponder about the ayat and wonder about the ayat? Who was supposed to do that? We were. If the Prophet ﷺ, my theory is if the Prophet ﷺ started doing tafsir of the Quran, he'd still be alive. There's too much wisdom there. Allah would keep him alive longer than Nuh alayhi salam, because it wouldn't be done. And even if he did the most brief tafsir of the Quran, he described one ayah with one hadith. If he did that, you know what would happen? Nobody would ever contemplate the Quran again. You know why? Because we'd say, how can I speak after the Prophet has spoken? How can I speak? I can't have any thoughts about this because the thoughts have come from the ultimate authority, the Prophet himself, God's authorized teacher. Allah gave us this Quran and He spread it around the world. And He said, this is ayat for people who will contemplate. Imagine the first century, 10 years after the Prophet ﷺ, people have reached Abyssinia, China, India. They're all over the place. Those people, when they're hearing the ayat of the Quran, they're like, do you have a tafsir with this? Can I read? What were they doing? They were hearing the ayat, and what were they doing with the ayat? They were contemplating. And as they were contemplating, they were accepting Islam. And as they were accepting Islam, we became Muslim as a result of that. What we did is we replaced tadabbur with tafsir, and then we said tafsir is only for scholars. It's not for you. Sure, tafsir is for scholars to write, and it's for me to read and then to do tadabbur. But we separated the Muslim population from engaging with the Quran. I come from Pakistan, and in South Asia, one of the most common things you'll hear about the Quran is don't read it directly, don't read a translation, don't think about it, you'll get misguided. And I say, the book that came to guide humanity, and your religious advice is don't think about it because you'll get misguided. Incredible. It's just incredible. The job of those who know is to make it easy for those who don't know. فَلْيُبَلِّغِ الشَّاهِدْ الْغَائِبِ. That's our job. What do we do now? No. We are not going to come to you. You have to come to us. We flipped the script on the delivery of the message. I want every one of you to develop a love of contemplating Quran. And you will see benefits of it in your life that you never imagined. Never. I'm telling you, it is the most fulfilling thing you will do with your life that I could do with my life is contemplate the Quran. You know, I find studying tafsir exhausting. But when the tafsir study is done and I start doing tadabbur, oof, nothing like it. Best job in the world. It's the best job in the world. I was studying with Sheikh Suhaib in Scotland in a cafeteria. We were just doing tadabbur for 5 hours. And I just had to stop in the middle and say, isn't this the most amazing job on the planet? And he said, yeah, don't tell anyone. I was like, I'm gonna. I want all of you to have that joy. He said, فَبِذَلِكَ فَلْيَفْرَحُوا وَخَيْرٌ مِمَّا يَجْمَعُونَ. Because of the Quran, they should be filled with joy. It's better than everything else that they're gathering. Let's gather some Quran. So with that, I'm going to conclude our first session. I think it went fairly well, inshallah, but that's up to you. I don't care about your comments. But do the homework assignment, and I'll see, inshallah, all of you tomorrow.